Hey, we're talking about Captain America, Brave New World, up next on Geek SA.
Do not attempt to adjust your YouTube video. We control the stream.
And welcome back to Geek SA. It's Saturday and we're having fun.
Oh, yay! Fun, 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 fun. Really quick before we get started, I want to say hi to my mom who's in the hospital. She's been in the hospital for a while, and that's why we missed out last week. But my aunt is with her today, and so she is watching us from the hospital. So, hi, Mom. We love
she's
you.
watching this right now?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, now back to the regularly scheduled program.
Okay, so yeah, we're talking about Captain. We actually saw it this morning.
So somebody made me get up at the butt crack of dawn, 8 a.m., to go see the 9 a.m. showing of Captain America.
We only had time to do that. We didn't have time to watch it any other time.
So he claims. We spent a lot of time in the afternoon doing other stuff. I could have been asleep. I'm just saying.
But we were doing other stuff.
I didn't have to do that other stuff. I could have slept. He made me go to Captain America at 9 a.m. I will say the nice thing about going to Captain America at 9 a.m. is there's plenty of seats.
Yeah, but even then, those seats are usually taken up.
No, I said there was plenty of seats.
I know, but those seats are usually taken up on, like, when they release it. We usually go on Sundays.
Oh, the 9 a.m. showing?
Uh-huh.
Really? I didn't even realize there was.
For most Marvels.
I didn't realize there was a 9 a.m. showing. I will say one other thing about the tickets, just because it's too horrific not to share. So we couldn't get the machine to work. It kept like clocking and clocking. We went to another one, clocking, clocking, clocking. So we went to the young lady to go have her. See, I just said the young lady, so that just proved my point right there.
That proved your point right there, yeah.
It did. So we went to the worker girl to have her put in our tickets, and she gave us this senior discount. She didn't even ask us. She just gave it to us.
We're about 10 years off from that.
We didn't say no.
It saved us some money.
Yeah, so we did see it this morning. And it was mid at best.
It was okay. It was okay. Yeah.
We just had this conversation earlier. If it's not great, it's not good.
That's when I'm talking about food.
Oh, so food, if it's not great, it's not good. But
Not good.
Movies, if it's not great, it's okay still.
Yeah. Yeah. No, here's the thing about like these branch off Marvel movies that aren't the original. So Anthony Mackie is Captain America. Well, before we even get to it, if you haven't seen it, let's shoot the trailer right now so everybody can see it.
Okay, here we go.
You know I've been no fan of heroes, but even I can't deny the good that you've done. Work with me, Sam. The country needs Captain America.
Tonight is the first step towards lasting peace across this brave new world.
Stand by for proof of death.
Go, go, go!
Your inner circle's been compromised. Either you can't see that or you don't want to.
What do you think they talk about? Talk about us!
The country is on the brink of war.
Facts.
There's someone behind all this.
Facts.
Watch yourself. You're not Steve Rogers. You're right. I'm not.
Let's go! What do you think they talk about? Talk about us!
Captain America. Caught without his wings.
You want me? Come and get me!
Captain America, Brave New World.
Make sure the suit's ready.
Tell me I don't make your old gear look brand new.
Who's saying that?
Everybody. Everybody is saying that.
In theaters everywhere, February 14th. Get tickets now.
There you go.
Okay.
So you
So
basically just saw
before-
the movie.
Before I get into anything about the movie,
Okay.
let's talk about Sam becoming Captain America. Do you think he's a convincing Captain America?
Absolutely.
I think he did a great job playing that.
No doubt about it. I mean, even when he was the Falcon, he was really great in the Marvel movies that he was in as the Falcon. So here's the nice thing about his character as Captain America. Number one, we've already seen him before. So it's just not something that they've just dropped on us.
Right.
It's not like he's brand new. Number two, we get to see in Endgame when Steve Rogers gets to go forward and have his own life. We get to see him pass the mantle on to Sam.
Right.
Which, if you go to flicks, they do show that ahead of time. So you get kind of that remembrance of, here's Sam and he's the reluctant hero, reluctant hero. Dun, 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 as always in hero movies. But here he is, the reluctant hero. He doesn't feel like he can measure up to Steve Rogers, which why you see in the trailer where Harrison's Ford like, you're not Steve Rogers, because that's that that dig at him, that's that thorn in his side, because he always feels like he's
And
not
this
gonna
happens like
measure
at the
up.
beginning of the movie.
Yeah. And so we know that that's his inner dialogue, right? I'm not Steve Rogers. I'm not going to be as good as Steve Rogers. There are even
But
times
we got to see that in the series before this, where we're introduced to Isaiah Bradley in there, which was the next Captain America after Steve Rogers.
right when Steve is frozen in ice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we've seen Isaiah Bradley before as a super soldier as well, because we've got that connection between Bucky and Isaiah Bradley and Sam and Steve, and so it's all of this, the thing that makes Sam different than all of them, and they bring this up in the movie as well, is Sam has not taken the serum.
Right.
So the others, they have that super soldier serum. So they have that enhanced. If you've seen the Captain America movies with Steve Rogers, you know that he was like this skinny little thing. He was a nobody. They give him the serum, and then he's, all of a sudden he's Captain
super
America.
strength and super endurance.
Yeah. And then we know that, there has been, Steve kind of got the best of it, right? Steve kind of got that super strength, that super endurance, and then he got to go out there and be Captain America, right? At first he was kind of a billboard for everything, and then he kind of got to go forward. He got the best of it, whereas then you have Bucky and Isaiah, and they were experimented on, and all this stuff was done to them, and so they kind of got the worst of it. So you've seen this dichotomy of what can happen with the serum.
Right.
And so Sam has decided, I'm not going to do that. Right, so Sam is kind of like the Batman of Captain America, right? He's not a super soldier. He doesn't have superpowers, shall we say, but he has really cool gadgets and he knows how to use them,
Right.
So,
But he can't create his own stuff.
no. You see that he's got, in this movie, it was cool to see that he has the vibranium from Wakanda. And so his wings are the vibranium. And you see, right from the beginning, you see in the beginning scene, you see them kind of do that ripple purple effect, and you're like, ooh, Wakanda,
Yeah.
So he definitely does have the good tech.
Right.
But they make it really clear to the audience, he's not a super soldier. He's human. He's breakable. I think that's what they were trying to focus the light on, right? What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right on that. I think he did a great job at being and us seeing a Captain America without powers. So that was good. One of the other things that I really liked about it was the call out to the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, the 2008 movie with Ed Norton.
With Ed Norton, yeah.
So that movie is now in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right, and that's because of the antagonist is from the Ed Norton.
And it was initially supposed to be, because Edward Norton was supposed to be the Hulk in the Avengers. He was initially the Hulk in the Avengers, but he didn't work well with the others.
Ed Norton not work well with people? Shocking. I don't know him personally, but he just seems like the type, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was. So I never remember all of this stuff. So it was interesting because we're there and we see the antagonist, and Vincent knows right away. Like right away, he's like, "Oh, that's from the Ed Norton Hulk," and he's got to lean over and tell me in the movie because he knows I have no idea. I'm like,
So the thing about it, the president is Thaddeus Ross. Thaddeus Ross was in the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk in 2008, played by William Hurt. He had a mustache, and they showed that he had a mustache in the.
they do that to Harrison, yeah.
So, but I think William Hurt passed away a while back.
Oh, did he?
Maybe that's why he wasn't.
Why he wasn't?
Well, I mean, obviously, if
Well,
he passed away.
I mean, Harrison Ford is Harrison Ford. So anytime you can get Harrison Ford, it's like anytime you can be Batman, be Batman. Well, anytime you can get Harrison Ford in a movie, just get Harrison Ford, And he plays a good president, and I think it's because
He always does, yeah.
I really liked him in Air Force One. That was such a good movie, and watched that the other day in the hospital with Mom, actually. And it was funny because they showed it at Flicks too. But he does make a good president. He has that, presidential feeling to him or whatever. So it was very believable. And I will say that they did write some underlying political things into the movie that's going on in current times.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay.
And that is kind of getting old because we keep seeing that over and over and over and over and over and over again, which we get it.
Like we get
We
it.
understand, but let's kind of like move off from there. Let's get us out of what we're in right now. Take us out of that.
Isn't that the whole point of movies?
To be a fantasy for us for a little bit.
Well, here's my problem with all of this. I think maybe I'm tired of Marvel, right? It's not the character. It's not the actor. The acting in this movie was fantastic. The new little boy who's the Falcon.
That plays Joaquin Torres.
Yeah, Joaquin Torres. Hilarious, super funny. All the perfect
I think we got to
quips.
see them in the series too. That kid.
I don't
Briefly.
I don't remember. Maybe. He's fantastic. Sam is fantastic. President Ross is fantastic. They're all amazing, right? It's not the acting. We have seen Marvel's formula over and over and over.
But is it
over.
Marvel's formula, or is that just a formula that we've seen over and over again?
Yeah, but Marvel is one of the top tier comic. Like the formula came from.
No, but even then, we've seen this in every genre.
Right, it's the hero formula, I guess you would say, right? The, the antagonist / protagonist who's good but evil but not either, but can be reasoned with and brought back, and the unwitting hero who really wants to be a hero but isn't sure about himself, but then like gives his all, and
Yeah, we saw that in Spider-Man.
the protagonist that talks too much and gives away too much of his plan. It's just like, it's so contrived at this point, But I think one of the things that Spider-Man does really well is it lets Spider-Man be vulnerable. And there are moments in the Spider-Man movies where you seriously kind of gasp and you think something really bad is going to happen to this kid. And I didn't get that feeling in this movie. Like, I know that they kept shoving it down our throats that, oh, Sam is only human. And they let him get, like, cuts and some broken bones and stuff. But for me, I never felt like, oh, he's really potentially in danger, right? Even when, what's his face, throws the grenade in his truck.
Sidewinder.
Thank you. Sidewinder throws a grenade in his truck, and you see that in the trailer too. And he talks about proof of death. Well, we all know he's already out of the truck. Like, we know nothing has happened to him. You can shoot at him, you can, and we've seen him take down, 97 guards by himself all at once. So I don't know. There's a feeling that you get in the Spider-Man movies that I don't get in these other Marvel movies. They try to make it seem like these characters are vulnerable, but it's just like...
But is that their way to show that they're superheroes? To show them like they've risen above having no powers? Because they kind of did the same thing with Hawkeye. He doesn't have powers.
Yeah, but he has such a minimal role. He's kind of a non-character. Although I will say
yeah, but he's had a minimal role. I mean, this was about him.
This was his chance, though, to kind of blow it all up. But I don't think that it's him. It's not him. It's not the acting. It's not the character. I think it's the formula. Number one, it's the formula. We've seen it too many times. I can't see it anymore. Number two,
if you've never seen that formula before.
But even then, here's
let's
my
say
second.
You're going in. If you're going in this with fresh eyes, let's say we've never seen a Marvel movie, and this is the first Marvel movie that we've seen.
Then my second problem, and this is my second problem that I've been talking about for a while. No, my third problem. I'll talk about problem 2, and then I'll talk about problem 3. Problem 2 that I think is even bigger than the formulaic problem is the last 10 years or so. If you've seen the trailer, you've seen the movie.
This one, they had everything in there.
They leave nothing to the imagination. And I hadn't really watched it. I've stopped watching trailers. Like, if I see the trailers coming, I go past it. I don't watch it.
Well, they did in this movie. They didn't necessarily... No, they didn't do it in Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I felt like they did.
No, they didn't.
Not as much as they did to this one.
No.
But I think that that's been a problem with a lot of movies, not just Marvel. Like, a lot of movies. They're trying to draw people in, but then they show too much. Mm-hmm. So by the time I get there, there's no surprises.
But they're trying to hype it up because they're presenting a movie about Captain America that's not Steve Rogers.
That's not Steve Rogers.
That we're used to. Because I don't think a lot of people saw the Falcon and the, what was it called? Falcon and the...
I don't remember.
Winter Soldier and the Falcon.
Yes, Winter Soldier and the Falcon. That was what it is. Maybe. They're trying to get people hype and excited and stuff. But the other problem is, and I've said this before too, they're always like beating us over the head, leading us to every step of the way. And it's like, I get it. You don't have to, like, you ruin the whole experience for me when you're like giving me every step of the way. Like, okay, I'm just going to spoil the movie. Sorry. So you see in the trailer where they're there with the cherry blossoms and the Hulk is there with the cherry blossoms. You know that's coming. They've been talking about the cherry blossoms the whole movie. Mm-hmm. They've been talking about how Ross wants to he's estranged from his daughter. He misses his daughter. He wants to be a better man for his daughter. Oh, he wants to be a better man and do better. He misses taking her for walks in the cherry blossoms. He and Sam are fighting, and then Sam tells the security team to clear the park. Well, we know where they're going, and of course then they land among the cherry blossoms, and we're like, oh no, Sam's gonna have to remind him what a good man he wants to be for his daughter while all the cherry blossoms, float down on top of him. Well, why'd you even take me there if you were just going to lead me there by the nose?
Well, and we've had this discussion before because we see this all the time in movies, and you're like, well, why are they leading me so much? But that's what's been done like for a long time, like before movies with Shakespeare. Shakespeare did that. Everything that happens in Shakespeare, you hear about it 3 times.
Yeah, but
In this one, you hear about it 3 times.
30,000 times. I think there's a difference between dropping clues so that people can inference what's happening.
People can't inference.
Well, that's a problem.
Okay, but people can't inference anymore.
Well, we need to have them practice.
But that's gonna take like decades to get there.
No, but tell me that you don't remember that we used to, back in the day, you would watch a movie and you'd be like, that was good, but I feel like I've missed something, right? And you'd go back and watch it 2 or 3 times, and then you'd be like, oh, I missed that tiny moment right there that would have helped me because I didn't catch it because it was tiny and obscure, but I needed to know that information to have been led to such and such. And you always caught those things. You were always catching them. But that's what I miss in movies now, is these little moments that they don't pound us over the head with, that we can like lead ourselves. Like, okay, here's another one. The mind control stuff. Tell me what your thoughts were, and then I'll go on my rant, because I'll rant.
What about the mind control stuff? I didn't have a problem with it.
Not that there was a problem with it, but you didn't think that it took them forever to get there because they were dragging us along, trying to help us see something that we should have seen instantaneously?
I don't know if it was as important to you as it to me as it was to you of seeing that. I think I'm going in looking for action into a Captain America movie.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. They drug that part of the story out for so long when it should have been pretty quick for them to understand that was what was happening. So they should have been on it right away.
It's harder to get out aha moments these days because of the inferencing.
I don't know, maybe it's me. I just feel like if you've and again, like you said, maybe if you haven't ever seen any of the Marvel.
Because they kind of hinted it. Most people that are watching this, things have changed. They're usually not going to the theater to watch it. That's one thing. So really, movies aren't being made to be watched in the theaters any longer. Would you agree?
I can see that point. Yes, I can see that point.
Okay.
It's a shame, but I can see that point.
So because that happens, people are going to be on their phone. There needs to be more than one aha moment.
Yeah, I can see that. People are getting up at their homes doing things. The kids are making noise. You're checking on dinner. You're on your phone. And so if you missed it the first time, they've told you about it 37 times, and now you get it. I just hate that that's become the formula for movies. Because those of us that are watching in the theater, then it's just like, oh, well, let's take half an hour to get to that, It just, I don't know. Maybe I've just seen too many of them. Because even when we get to Stern's lab and we see all this stuff, and we see, Harrison Ford, President Ross's picture in there, and we find out that Ross has been using him and stuff like that, and Ross has been taking these pills, and then they lead us, here's the pills, oh, here's Harrison Ford's scans, here's this genius dude, here's these pills in his lab, oh wait, they've shown him taking these pills 97 times, oh my god.
Because we got that because he wasn't necessarily it was Samuel Stearns. He wasn't, or Samuel
Yeah, I thought it was Stearns.
Stems.
Was it Stearns?
Stearns.
Stearns. Yeah, it was Stearns.
So in The Incredible Hulk, he wasn't in there much.
Yeah, well, because I didn't remember the movie, I had no idea who this guy was. To me, he was a new antagonist.
He was supposed to be something that happened later. He was just supposed to be really smart. After it, when he gets affected with the gamma radiation. So, now we get to see him in this from that, but he's been in prison all this time, and it kind of makes you wonder what would that somebody who's really smart that's been in prison all this time, but not just smart, but like really, really smart, and go through. So I kind of like that arc that they did with that. I like that they brought it in from The Incredible Hulk.
Well, and I will say, so I can agree with you on that. I do like that we get this antagonist who I didn't remember was from The Incredible Hulk. But what I like is
we don't know that it's him at the beginning.
You don't know who he is, but I do like that they give us this parallel between him and Isaiah, right? They've both been given these drugs by the government, by the military. They've both been imprisoned and tested on. They've both been promised their release and freedom, but not given it, right? But here's Isaiah, he's not happy with what happened to him, but he's still willing to see the good in the world and the potential in the world, right? But then you have Stern, who, he is out for revenge, which is, this is what antagonists do, right? But he's out for revenge, and because he's so smart, he can see every pattern that should be coming, and so he's kind of lining things up. He's playing chess when everybody else is playing checkers, and so I did like that part of it. Again, they really led us to it, I felt like, but I did like some of the moments of them uncovering it. And again, Taurus is real funny. He gets some stuff done, and he's, of course, the tech savvy guy and the sidekick guy. So, he's getting some stuff. So it's not like it's a bad, I would agree with you. It's not a bad movie. I enjoyed it for what it was.
It's just a predictable movie.
It is a predictable movie. Like even to the point where the fight scenes are super predictable.
Right.
Like you see the outcome of the fight scene from the first step they take into the fight scene. It's crazy. There are a couple of things though in the fight scenes that I thought were spectacular, and I wasn't expecting, but because I hadn't seen the trailer, because if I had seen the trailer I would have known this was coming. So Sam and Torres are trying to stop the fighters because the American fighter jet pilots have been mind controlled, because there's a lot of mind control going on in this movie. So you see in the trailer that they're up here with these jets, and then you see Sam go and he turns that wing and he cuts the wing off of the fighter jet. That was by far one of the most fantastic Top Gun superhero moments I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I will say that one I almost cheered and there were people in the theater like, yes, right? Because it was just one of those really good fight scene moments that you kind of hope for in these types of movies. So for me that was like the best fight scene moment in there. Which one was your favorite? Because I thought the one where he was against the big guy, that was just at the very beginning, oh, I'm a big guy, I'm going to show you how tough I am, contrived. The one with Sidewinder.
I think I like Sidewinder a little bit better.
It was good. It was good. Not great. It was good. I just thought the aerial stuff was great.
Yeah.
It was the best sequences of the whole thing. Yeah, I mean, there was good fight scenes, but not like fantastic. And maybe again, because we've seen all the Marvel movies, we've seen this formula, we've seen these fight scenes 100 times before. It's the same fight scenes over and over and over and over. You go high, I go low. You go low, I go high. I can flip 9,000 times. I can kick you in the head. I can throw my shield, hammer, whatever, and it bounces off of things and hits like 19 guys at once and knocks everybody out, you know. I get it.
No, but you're saying like this is a Marvel thing. It's not a Marvel thing. They do it in Westerns. They do it...
I would say they do it less in Westerns.
No.
I feel like they miss more in Westerns. I feel like if you were watching G.I. Joe misses a lot.
Well, G.I. Joe doesn't kill.
I don't know. I'm going to agree to disagree with you on this one. I think that it is very formulaically Marvel. I think that there are other action movies where the action star misses sometimes. I mean, I think that's what keeps us on the edge of our seats with like Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible is a movie that keeps you on the edge of your seat because you're never quite sure if Ethan and his team are going to make it. They do some pretty fantastic things, some pretty ridiculous things, but you're just not quite
But
sure.
that's it, because some of them don't make it.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, Sam is only human. Yeah, he has tech, but they don't. Okay, yes, they kind of show it with the big burly guy at the beginning that Sam can take his lumps every once in a while. But I didn't see the point of that one. I don't know how to explain it. I know what I'm thinking in my mind, but I don't know how to explain it.
But you're saying it's a Marvel thing when it's... I don't think it's a Marvel thing. It's just where movies are going now.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because more often than not, people want to see the hero win. And that's all we see.
Well,
They don't want to see this hero lose.
but that's part of the hero formula too, though. The hero is supposed to lose sometimes.
Well, just
so
like
that
in
he can
Mission
dust himself
Impossible,
off.
you know nothing's ever gonna actually happen to him. Stuff may happen to the team, but nothing's gonna happen to him.
You think that it might, though.
Because it hasn't.
Just like with James Bond, you think it might. There's a slim chance it just kind of keeps you hanging on. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
With James Bond, they actually did, because in the last James Bond, they killed him.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. And I get it. They're superheroes. They're fairly indestructible, but they're all supposed to have their weaknesses. And I realize that Sam's weakness is that he's human. I don't know. Again, I didn't think it was terrible. I felt like I had seen it before. Many, many, many times.
But that's the thing. You've also seen heroes take hits, actual hits. Like, they could have showed him get shot and he'd be limping. But we've seen that before.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to explain why I didn't like it, but I don't know. I just didn't like it. Not that I didn't like it. I just wasn't like hype. I mean, I fell asleep in it a couple of times.
Because when we're watching it, we're expecting everything to be like Avengers. It's not going to be like Avengers.
No, I actually want the opposite. I want it to be nothing like Avengers. I am so over the Avengers. I want it to be nothing like the Avengers.
I mean, as great as that.
Maybe. And what's weird is a lot of the times I judge a movie on the characters and the actors, right? And the way the actors pull off the characters. And so you would think that I would have loved this movie, that this would have been the most fantastic movie I had ever seen, because the actors and the character building in this is fantastic. That is one of the most fantastic things about this whole thing, is the actors and the character building. I think it was the story writing for me that fell flat. And I feel like it's only that because everything was so blaringly obvious. So for me, the story writing falls flat. And I know that you say that it's like that for the lowest common denominator, but at some point, it'd be nice to see us get back to this place where we're not spoon-fed everything. Like, we're never going to get better, more intelligent, do better if we keep getting spoon-fed everything. Like, please stop spoon-feeding me, you know?
But like I said, we can't get there for, like, decades.
Well, I'd like us to get there tomorrow.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. There's just going to be those movies that people aren't going to watch as much, but they're going to be great movies that we would like because they have that in them. And then there's going to be some that are just like, you don't need to think about it. It is what it is. Good guy prevails in the end.
Well, and I guess I can see it from the studio standpoint that they have done really well with the Steve Rogers Captain America. It has been really well received, and you know, Chris is no longer going to do that, I would assume, and so they're trying to move, because a lot of them are no longer going to, so they're trying to move the franchise, and just like we've talked about before, right, you've got this big franchise, but you want to keep moving it into the next generation so you can keep making money, right? So if they want to move Sam into the Captain America role, then I get it. They've got to get viewers who want to watch it. The problem is they didn't get viewers who wanted to watch it, because there we were in the theater and almost all of the seats were open.
It was almost all open.
So what did they do wrong? Because,
well, I mean, first things first, it's going to be the thing about they're putting, I have no problem with it. They're doing this, putting a black actor in as the main character, which I don't know why people hate that.
well, and the majority of the cast is people of color.
Yeah.
You know, Sam, Isaiah, Torres, the Secret Service girl, you know. And yeah, when I was watching it, I could hear people complaining. Well, how come there's all these black people and Mexican people in here? You know, so maybe that was a turnoff for some people. I don't know why, because
They all play great characters.
they were all really great characters. But then I guess that comes back to what we saw with the Blue Beetle. You know, the Blue Beetle was a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. Didn't get hardly any play. But again, it's, you know, a full Hispanic cast, you know, pretty much. Except they throw like Susan Sarandon at it. You know,
Yeah.
and this was the same thing. Here's this fantastic cast, but we know that they're all people of color, so let's throw Harrison Ford at it to try to pull people in.
Yeah.
And that's a shame, because I really think if with some good story writing, these characters could bring the Captain America franchise forward and make really good movies. Their chemistry is really good together. We have that Marvel formula of the serious guy and the funny guy, like.
But now they're looking at, because you see throughout the movie that they want to rebuild the Avengers again.
Right, that's something that they talk about.
Because they've been disbanded.
Right.
So now they want to build them up again, which leads us into whatever the next era we're going into, Doomsday or whatever it's called.
I don't know.
Going up against Doctor Doom,
Yeah.
where everybody comes in with the Secret Wars and.
Well, and that's why we get to see adamantium, I'm assuming, is because they're a very glaringly showing us adamantium. And whenever we hear adamantium, who do we
Wolverine.
think of
Yeah.
automatically? It's Wolverine, right? So I felt like that too was a lead to, hey, we're going to have the X-Men and meet up with the Avengers, which has happened in the comics. So it's not anything new, but yeah, I'm sure they're trying to get, because we've seen, if you've watched anything from Comic-Con, you know that supposedly Robert Downey Jr. is going to be Dr. Doom. Which I'll see is interesting since people know him as Iron Man, so I don't know how people are going to feel about looking at him as this other character. But that's another discussion.
It depends on how he plays it.
Yeah. So yeah,
It's a variant.
I can see that they're trying to roll the ball. I just don't know if they rolled the ball well enough to get us where they're hoping to go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess time will tell. We'll see how much money this movie makes and how it does.
I don't know. I have a feeling that it's not going to make a lot of money.
I don't think so either. I'm afraid that it's not going to. And I would be curious to read other people's reviews and see if the reason they didn't like it is because of the color of the cast, or if people are really starting to have the same problems with these movies that you and I have with these movies. So
I don't think so. I don't think people have those same things.
Well, I'll be curious to see what they say. So I'm gonna go check out. I don't usually check out what any reviewers say because I don't agree with them most of the time.
It's at 51 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
The audience is at 80%.
So they like it more than the critics do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe this was not the film to come out on Valentine's Day weekend either. And maybe that's something that shot him in the foot too. Because, you probably want to go see like a romantic comedy or something with your girl on Valentine's weekend.
No, not dudes.
Dudes do whatever girls want for Valentine's.
But guys don't want to see that.
Yeah, but they'll do it for their girl. And the girl wants to see it, and it's Valentine's. Valentine's is not really about dudes anyway. It's about girls.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. So, I'm going to say it was mid. It's not a thumbs up. It's not a thumbs down. There are very thumbs up moment, and there are very thumbs down moments. So, I think for me, it was like a thumbs sideways.
For me, there wasn't any thumb downs on it. It was just kind of like this, but nothing down at all for me. Just because when I go into a movie, I go in not expecting anything and not like reading into more than what it is, so I can enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because if I don't do that, then I'm gonna be like you, and I'm not gonna enjoy anything. That's why I love way more movies than you do.
Well, I didn't intentionally go into it. Like, I went into it because I thought it was going to be fun. Like, I liked him as the Falcon a lot. I like his acting. I like the Falcon as a character. I mean, who doesn't want to have wings, Who doesn't want to have fancy metal wings and fly around and stuff? Like, that's a big dream of a lot of people,
Yeah.
We see that in even Greek mythology, But... So yeah, I was hyped to go see this, and we haven't had a good superhero action movie in a while, so I was super hyped to go see this one. So I didn't walk into it thinking I was going to be disappointed. I just ended up being disappointed.
Yeah.
So that was.
What I was surprised we didn't get to see the Fantastic Four trailer.
I'm dropping toys. Oh yeah.
On this, we got to see Thunderbolts.
Looks so good.
That one actually looks good.
That one actually does
That one
look
looks
good.
really, really good.
And the thing that's good about that one, and even though I know that this is a Formula 2, is here's all these misfits that have got to come together. And we've seen it in Suicide Squad, but I think they're going to do it better than Suicide Squad did it. Yeah. So, because DC has done this formula really well in their shows, which is another thing. DC does really great shows. Marvel usually does really great movies. But this movie looks fantastic. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited to see this one. So hopefully it'll be good. And I just won't watch any of the trailers aside from the one we just saw in the theater, so that I will forget it before it's time for it to come out. So yeah, I am excited to see that one.
That'll be good. It's definitely a see. Is it see at the theater? I like to go to the theater, so yes, go see it at the theater. If you don't really like going to the theater, yeah, wait till it comes out on one of the streaming services. But it was really good. I liked it. Thanks for checking us out. I'm Vince.
And I'm Colleen.
Geek
Geek out
Outta
SA.